In this demonstration, we're going to show you the 61850 loader, which will allow you to load and connect the 61850 devices to the gateway in the active sgconfig project. To start the loader, the first step is to select your device. So once you have selected your device, the IEC61850 group will show up in the ribbon, and it will be enabled. All the options will be enabled. The option that we want to start with is the loader. So we click on the loader, and that will load our main page. This is the main screen of the loader. The left area shows a tree representation of the project when it is built. Center area side shows a graphic block diagram representation of a project when it's built. When the devices are added, the connection lines will be shown and created automatically. Right area side shows contextual details of the selected objects on the left or center. The elements of an IEC61850 project are voltage levels, bays, and IEDs. These can be added by a right-click action on either the tree on the left or on the icons in the center area. As you can see, a newly created project would contain initially only the gateway IEC61850 client. There is two ways to access the client properties screen. So it can be accessed by a right-click action in either the tree root. So we click on the properties, and then we can see the properties, the client properties for the D400GW01C1. So for example, you can see the IP address. You can see the other settings for the device. Okay, so we'll click cancel. The other way, of course, is to right click on the graphic symbol on the device, and again we get to the same properties screen. The client configuration is not available until at least one IEC61850 element is present in the project. There is nothing yet to configure. Also, you can access by right-clicking on the device in the middle and click the properties, edit the configuration, and there is nothing to be configured yet. Then we can add a voltage area by right-clicking on the tree on the left and click add a voltage area. Let's name it V area 1. And then we add a voltage level to that. Let's say it's 220 kV, and then we click OK. Now it will auto fit on the screen, as you can see, but we can zoom it with the slider in and out, or you can press the Control plus the wheel mouse button. That will give you the same effect. Selection by dragging is not possible. You can only select one device at a time. You can access the properties of a voltage area just by right-clicking on the voltage area and clicking properties. You can select the different voltage. If I select 150 kV, you can see it here as 150 kV, or I can right-click on the tree and get to the same properties, and then I can change the voltage area. So if I want to change it back to 220 kV, I can do that, and then I click OK, and it is 220 kV. We can add another voltage area to the screen. So let's say that I want to add voltage area number 2, and for this one I'm gonna pick up 72 kV and click OK. Now we have two voltage areas. If we click on the plus sign, I can see both voltage areas 1 and 2, and of course I can zoom it in and out and select either voltage area. The arrange button in the menu will zoom to fit the screen. The block diagrams are zoomed and fit in the tree. We can select the block diagrams either in the middle or in the tree, and as you can see, once we select on the tree, we can see the red square around the block diagram. So we can start to add a second level of elements to the project base. As per 61850, bays need to be located under a voltage area. Bays are added by right-clicking action either in the tree or on the desired voltage level or on the desired voltage area shape. So we can right-click and, as you can see, add a bay, or here, we can right click or add a bay, and let's say we want to add bay 1, so we just click OK on it, or we can add another bay 2, and now we have the plus sign, and you can see both bays from the first one. We can do the same for the second voltage level, so I can add bay 3 to the 72 kV and bay 4 also. And that will give me the 2 next bays. So as you can see, we can arrange our bays, and then we can click on the auto arrange to arrange the devices or auto fit all the blocks in the screen. As per IEC61850, server IEDs need to be located under bays. These can be added by right-clicking action either in the tree or on the desired bay level or on the desired bay shape. Add server will open a dialog browser for SCL files, CID, IED, or SCD, and we could add a D25, which will open a dialog that will obtain a self-description file from a live connected D25 GE D25 IED. So when we click OK here to open the file, we can save it. And so you could invoke the configuration of the IEC of the D25 and save it to the computer if the D25 is connected, just by putting the right IP address of the D25. I'm not going to show you this here, but it's an option that's available just by entering the D25 IP address. The workflow specified by the IEC61850 for adding servers to a client project configuration in an ICT or IED configuration tool is based on the SCL. This is done by either browsing the SCL for the SCL file or by dragging and dropping from a window file explorer. Note, the SCD file can also be selected, and an additional dialog will prompt you for which IED to be imported in the loader project from the SCD file. The drop action must be done on the tree on top of the desired bay. Look for the green horizontal arrow on the left side of the tree when you're dropping, so drop it now. As you can see, the device is being added to the bay, and you will be prompted for devices with more than one LAN port to select the desired LAN. So in this case, you've got, of course, the IP address 192.168.30.90, and that's the desired LAN address. So we will click OK on that, and that will allow the device to be, the server to be added to the bay level. Of course, additional IEC61850 servers can be added by repeating the same process. So I can open my file explorer and then pick up another device and drop it. Of course, remember to drop it where the arrow is showing. Okay, so in this case I'm gonna drop another device. We'll make sure again that the device is picked up with the proper IP address. You can of course select the desired IP address, make sure that's selected, and then click OK, and we click OK again. I'm going to demonstrate another example where we could drag and drop an SCD file with two servers. So we can pick up an SCD file and drop it. So let's drop it to bay number 3 in this case. So we'll see bay number 3 highlighted, and now I can select which servers to bring into my loader project. I could select all or select either, and in this case I'm going to select all and click OK. and you have the option to import directly all the selected servers without confirming each one of the parameters. I would say yes to that, and then the result is the servers are imported in the loader project and auto-fitted. Okay, going back to the original setup with the two servers connected to bay number 1. IDs can be moved across bays by drag and drop in the 3 area. So we're going to demonstrate that. I'm going to move the server number 731 to bay number 2. Okay, and as you can see, I can also move my first server to bay number 4. Okay, so we can interchange the servers between bays. You could move the server again. So for example, I could take the server 731 and move it to bay number 3 from bay number 2, and that will show up in the block diagram. Server properties can be edited by a right-click action on the desired IED name, whether we do it on the tree or on the blocks on the graphic symbols. So here I can right-click on my L90731, and we can see the properties if we need to change these properties, right? So I'm going to go ahead and click cancel, and if we want to edit the properties of the gateway, it's not possible yet to edit the configuration. So I'm just going to show it to you. If I click edit configuration or right click on the tree and edit the configuration cannot be edited yet as there are still unconnected elements. What I mean by that, there is bays without servers connected to it. So I'm just going to do a quick rearrangement here. So I'll take my L9001 and connect it to my first bay, and I will take my L90731 and connect it to my second bay. I will import another server from my local drive and connect it to bay number 4. So I'll pick up my test 731 CID, and of course we drop it where the arrow shows up and you have the red square around the device. Again, just to confirm the steps, once we import the file, we make sure that we pick up the desired IP address that we are interested in, and then we click OK, and we'll click OK again. Now we have elements to bay 1, 2, and 4. Instead of importing another one, I'm just gonna delete bay number 3, and that should complete my configuration. You will be able to see that all the bays have connected server to it, and every bay is connected to a voltage level that's connected to my D400 gateway. Now all the blocks are ready for configuration, and my client configuration can be edited. So I will right click on the tree and just say edit the configuration, and we get the usual workflow where we select the desired report control block and then select the desired data set just by control left click the mouse, then bring them into either a report or a poll axis. We can adjust the width of the columns in order to show all the data in the cells. We could also sort the contents by clicking on the headers of the columns, and we can select the information individually per device. So we can, if there is more than one report control block per device, I can look at the applicable one that I would like to reserve for my device and select it. Multiple values in a given column can be changed at the same time. So we could select the start and the end range with a shift mouse or a control mouse. In this case, I'll change it for my buffer time and select it all, set it all to the same value. I'll select to 200, press enter. Boom, all of them are changed. The same for the integrity poll. If I want to set the same integrity poll for all my devices, that is very fast. Any of the triggers for the reports can be set up, whether it's a quality change, data change, periodic, or based on any of the changes. And the next step is to map the client database. We select the second tab in the upper left area. Assuming that I want to select all the points to start with, I'm gonna go ahead and check the root device, and that will select all the points into my database. The description is optional in IEC61850, but I could retrieve it with the retrieve all descriptors. I'll click on that, and then as you can see in the point description, you can see the description if it is present in the SCL file, of course. If you select the synchronize point selection and it was enabled in the IEC61850 option, what that will do, as I will demonstrate, is that if you click anywhere in your database on any point, you will see it in the tree, and vice versa. So if I select a different point, you will see that the tree is scrolling to the point where that point is available. Of course, you can see that my analog outputs, digital inputs, digital outputs are all populated. So I'm gonna apply my configuration at this point. And individual data objects can be don't need to be deselected one by one. We can use the filter to select which points we are not needing. So I could apply the filter and take out all the protection points if need be from devices. So I've taken out the protection nodes, and now I can clear my filter and my database is updated. The result is that all the data object matching the applied have been deselected in bulk without requiring to find point by point or each point one at a time. And just to show you, the rest of them are selected except the protection nodes. Now let's say I want to select this specific point in all the devices at the same time and deselect it from my database. I could search just by putting the first few letters of the point, my filter, and just apply the filter. And if I select the root device, deselect the root device, all of these points will be deselected in all the nodes, and I can clear my filter right now. And as you can see, my database will update, and this specific logical node will be deselected in all the devices. So another powerful way of not needing to edit one by one, but utilizing the filter and the root selection in order to select the right set of points. Okay, so we can click OK on the points if we're happy with the database. So we click OK. Now all my points are in place. Next, I will go back to my block diagram. I'm going to demonstrate a couple of things on the block diagrams. So all the buttons at the top of the screen, for example, the layout button, which allow you to see the blocks either top, bottom, or left to right. So now it's in vertical, which means it's in top, bottom layout, or we can select the horizontal. We'll put it in a left to right layout. Of course, you can zoom and move around the screen, either with a slider or with the mouse wheel. If it moves out of screen and you want to bring it back to a normal arrangement, we can click on the arrange button, which will fit it back on the screen. And also we can either enable or disable the showing of the block diagram by checking the box of show diagram. So this way it's disabled, we don't see it, or we can click it back and we can see the block diagram. Right, I'll put it back on a vertical layout. Now once we're happy, the last button to the left hand side of the screen basically will save my configuration. And once my configuration is saved, because the session is in progress, we can exit and save our changes. Now we'll go back to looking at the device. The device will have a small red square indicating that there is an ungenerated configuration. So I need to click on my generate button. So we'll click on the generate button and the configuration will start to be generated. As the configuration is generated, we will see the sgconfig showing each of our devices configuration processing, and you will see basically all the creation of the client maps, the points, the validation of the configuration, and each one of the nodes being added to our device. We can check the output window in order to see that our device have been generated successfully. Now all the points are available. We could go back into the editor to edit the device again. There is many options. We could sync our configuration to the device. As I said, we can go back into the editor, or we could go to our logic links editor and use the points, because now all the database is generated. Okay, so I'd like to thank you for being with us in this demonstration of the IEC61850 Loader.